still watching Prime Morning, and it's time for entertainment. It's Friday. Robert Clark is here. Adam Chatome is here as well. Hi, guys.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm still waiting for your dye. It hasn't come yet.
Yeah, we did a subtle one.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know, we're managing the space. Few projects being worked on, so let's see how it goes out.
Okay. I see. That's nice. And Adam, how's everything though?
Oh, by the grace.
Right. Watch Me is doing very well.
Oh, yeah. I mean...
We're watching you.
Yeah. Today I was in the vehicle and it was charming.
It was charming, eh?
And I was like, it sends some memories to when we were in the studio and we were cooking it.
Right.
And the vibe in the studio told us that it's going to be something else. And indeed, it is.
It's big.
Yeah.
What nominations do you have so far?
We have Traditional Gospel Song of the Year and Artist of the Year, Gospel Artist
of the Year.
We wanted more, but I mean, that's what we got. So the most important is the work. So we'll continue to put in the work. I mean, because touching lives is most important, and we'll continue to do that. So
did you try to petition, because you're saying you wanted more?
Yeah.
What did you petition for?
I mean, I think that if you listen to the lyrics of the song, it should have been in the Songwriter of the Year category, because, I mean, you could clearly see that the song, the way it was crafted, easily makes you relate to the song. And, I mean, if you look at the composition, how it was done, it was beautiful. And this coming from Kwame Eugene, who's a regular gospel artist. I mean, I think so that should have qualified for that. And I mean, most popular song of the year, I mean, we should have been there, because it's really been a song which represented the gospel space on almost on the DSP charts they did throughout the year. So we felt that we should have had a place. And if you look at the numbers, the streaming numbers too were good. So we should have had a place in the artists of the gospel most popular
Song of the Year.
So, I mean, it didn't happen, but...
And the petition didn't happen as well. You petitioned, but they still didn't put you in there. All right.
But it doesn't stop the work.
Okay, that's great.
We'll keep going.
Robert,
they should keep streaming it.
Yeah, they will. I mean, it's a good song, so who won't want to stream it?
Yeah.
It's one of the best songs that have come out for the year in review.
Production.
Yeah, production-wise, everything is solid. Yeah. Anyway, when it comes to awards, it's not what we say, but there's more to it than what we see. And so Robert Clark is here, and yesterday there was clarity that came from Charterhouse as updates on Telecel Ghana Music Awards nominations. Now, Adam did mention earlier that they did petition for songwriter. However, they still didn't make it. But there is somebody who made it into the songwriter category, and this is Kwame Eugene. The song is Competition, is what? No Competition by Ochame Kwame featuring Kwame Eugene. Initially, the songwriter was given to Ochame Kwame, but they came out to say that it was rather the two that wrote the song, and so it becomes Ochame Kwame and Kwame Eugene, and that is good clarity.
Yes, certainly. That's one of the reasons why we have that particular window, because obviously you check your submissions, and sometimes you don't get that information coming out. You know, so obviously once that is pointed out, it becomes easier. So you give credit to whom credit is due, essentially, and that's exactly what we have done. And we are happy that we can give credit to those who deserve to be credited. Yes, because it's their works. Yeah,
that's good. And also, you spoke about clarification on category rules. I think this is what some people don't understand. There are rules to the category. Please break it down for us.
Yeah, so there are several rules, and each category has got its own rules. And it was observed that while the reason for the Makoma not being nominated, we also heard people having discourse in other angles, and then, back and forth. But then again, it was just around the same time when the team from Paluta also petitioned the board. So because they petitioned the board, we couldn't respond to it, because we needed to respond to them officially, because they had petitioned the board. And any explanation would probably not be a good will not be good timing because obviously you're waiting for the board to give the official response. So yes, that took place. But during the discourse, we also clearly understood that there was a little bit of confusion, so we needed to be able to explain what the rules of the category is. And so so we did that. And so on that particular premise, what we are saying is that there's a rule that the board has been using, and that is to allow a particular artist to have one nomination per category.
Okay.
And the reason is because we don't want to create competition for yourself, or we don't want to create competition for that particular artist. And so what happens is that we have 3 voting blocks. We have the general public, you have the academy, and then you have the board. We know for a fact that the academy, each member of the academy has 1 vote per category.
Okay.
So which means if you go to a particular category and there are 6 songs, 8 songs, you can only choose 1. And so and then the same thing applies to the board. What it means is that if Rosalind, for example, has 2 songs, and I get there and I see first song and I see second song, I may choose one of the songs, and then you have another person choose one of the songs, and you keep going. So you end up splitting the votes for that particular artist. Even if the person has got a huge song, you end up splitting the votes. Which will affect the ultimate goal, because the nomination is supposed to be a means goal to an end.
Right.
And the end is for you to eventually become a winner. So you want to make sure that everybody that goes through the scheme is given the opportunity to become a winner. You know, so we put that as a main goal, and we said, okay, we shouldn't allow the scheme to sabotage who a winner is supposed to be if they have the chance of winning. Because the ultimate goal of the scheme must be to reflect what is on ground. Not necessarily, oh, this is how the scheme works and then it's going different ways. So in the spirit of that, that particular rule was created to ensure that you put the best foot forward.
Okay.
So having put that best foot forward, you know, we use that to explain the situation with Makuma and Asida for King Paluta, having 2 big songs, and, you know, we just had to apply the rule. So the questions others are asking, so Makuma, does it really, so what, it doesn't play any role in the scheme? We're like, no, it plays a role in the scheme. So for example, it's nominated in the Hip Life Hip Hop Artist of the Year category, and that particular song and its works is supporting him in that category. The same thing, it's contributing to the weight of his album, because the song is on the album, so it's contributing to the weight of the album. And it's also contributing to his weight in Artist of the Year. So because an Artist of the Year, you're looking at everything that the person did, so obviously that counts. When you go to album, you're looking at the songs on the album in terms of popularity as well. That also counts. And then when you go to the genre artistry, which is the hip life hip hop artist, he's also that is also going to count for him, so to say. So those were the things, and I think that most of the references were made to specific instances. I think about in 2021, when in the space of Kiddy, at a particular time, the board relaxed that particular rule because again arguments were made. So the board, yes, today you are doing this, everybody will go against it. You know, allow the artist to have all the 2 songs in there. Allow them, you know. So arguments were made. We're like, okay.
That's what he had say cheese.
And then enjoyment. Yes.
Okay.
And then, lo and behold, what happened was exactly what had been said over and over. The vote would split because people have got what? 1 vote for a category for the board and an academy. And then the general public, if all I have, for example, is what? 10 cities to be able to vote, really, I will vote with 10 cities. And that's it. Either I'm splitting or I don't know. It could be anything. But all we are saying is that when you check the 3 blocks, at least we know 2 blocks have only one choice to make in terms of a particular category. So from there, then the board reversed to using the rules.
Do people know this, or it's not
you see, so again, it's something that people know. And I can understand again if people don't know. I think Paluta entered the scheme last year. And and I've been saying that every year we know that people keep coming into the scheme, new people, new artists, new managers, new labels, like stakeholders, different set of stakeholders. So it's quite understandable that some of these things exist. So in a space when we get this feedback, we always want to be able to educate them that these are the rules, etc., etc.
Okay.
But we also see that it is even necessary to share more. So going forward, we'll make sure that a lot more information is made available, But that is the reason why we have the window, so that people can feel free to also ask questions or petition if there's anything whatsoever. And then, yes, and then we are willing to address it if we have to.
Right.
I mean, that's it.
So if you have 2, 3 big songs, you can actually go ahead and file for the 3 songs.
Yeah.
However, not all 3 can make it into one category, not even 2, but they can be spread across depending on the strength.
And the categories that they are supposed to be. Because for this one, they were both high life songs.
Right.
And then when you go into the category of most popular, then you're just dealing with most popular.
Okay.
But
that makes sense.
You don't want to create competition for yourself, because the moment you do that, then you're going to have issues if they stand a good chance of winning.
Okay,
really.
makes a lot of sense there. Anyway, so now that we have clarity on it, I hope that the fans are okay. Adam, I mean, you also got a reason why you didn't get the nomination.
I didn't get it.
You didn't get a reason?
You didn't get a reason? You didn't?
Yeah, I've not received it.
You haven't? Oh, I know a mail was sent to something VS or something. What's the email address?
The men's corporate.
Yes, yeah, I know, yeah.
So please check your email, because I think that currently they've sent it to almost all the people that filed or petitioned, and so you have received a reason why you didn't make it, but better luck next time.
Sure.
But then again, the campaign still is ongoing to win. So which one do you want? Gospel Artist of the Year?
We won the 2.
You won the 2?
Gospel Artist of the Year, because if you look at the year under review, the events Empress performed on. I mean, it crossed over events. I mean, if you look at, she was the only gospel artist who performed at the African Games, the finals at Cape Coast, Ghana and Nigeria.
Okay.
I mean, she performed there. If you look at Otumfo's 100 years anniversary, Ochehene, Mampohene, I mean, those are big royalty events. Then if you come to the gospel space, women in worship, I mean, then a couple of events, more than 20 events. Then Ghana Music Awards USA, she performed in USA. I mean, so the year under review was a very busy one for her. And I mean, if you look at, not even talk about social events, in that one, every weekend, we get overbooked.
Right.
For weekends, in wedding events, big funerals. I mean, that one day, every weekend, yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, the brand, and we got some brand engagements with Nestle Ghana, some products they introduced onto the market. We're going to doing some market activation with them. And there are other brands too, we did some work for. So, it was a busy year for her. So, she deserves to win it. You know, we had, mostly December is one of the busiest. And even the December where we had a little challenge with the death of her mother, I mean, the song was still doing the magic.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we really urge Ghanaians, all the voting blocks, the academy, the board, and the general public to consider our hard work and reward us with a vote, so that Empress keeps winning the 2 awards.
Okay.
So I'm just,
so your mail has been sent to you.
So just check.
Check again, and you get to know. All right. So we'll try and see if we can raise Ninoy too on Zoom. You know, unfortunately, he couldn't come into the studio. He had to, but he couldn't. So we'll try and raise him on Zoom. I know he's watching us. So Ninoy, you can call Sheila so that you can join on Zoom and have a conversation with us as well. As you know, Adam is rooting for Gifty to win the Gospel Artist of the Year. Maybe your support is also for Gifty, so let's hear you supporting Gifty to win Gospel Artist of the Year. But then again, as events are happening, we know that things happen during events. Sometimes it's all about, people losing their phones, people fighting over trivial things. But this is not a trivial fight. This is a very, very major issue. Now, on, I think it came out on Monday, where DJ Lord OTB came on Facebook to write something. He said, I need to address something that happened at the just ended Extravaganza. This particular issue is a troubling display of disrespect and industry politics that can't be overlooked. This this is way beyond individual sentiments. During my DJ set alongside Mekrikwe, I included some essential tracks of Shatta Wale into our playlist. An artist whose music forms the backbone of any Ghanaian musical experience. The crowd's energy confirmed we were on the right track until a top board official of the show intervened. At the behest of Stonebwoy's management, I was instructed to cease playing Shatta Wale's music immediately. Can you imagine? Given my background as a DJ, this is obviously disrespectful and unprofessional. Although I have a great deal of respect for Stonebwoy and everything he has accomplished over the years, and I have done everything in my capacity to support his music, this management decision is wrong. Just so you know, no headline act has authority over a DJ selection for non-performing artists. Things took another bad turn when Stonebwoy's team suddenly decided they wanted Stonebwoy to perform, despite the fact that I had just begun playing with Kojo Manuel within our allotted slot. There are much bigger problems here. Artist managements keep overstepping their boundaries, acting like they are in charge of everything. DJs and MCs keep getting treated as unimportant, even though we are the ones who keep the energy going and make sure events run smoothly. And worst of all, personal beef between artists is now being used to control what music gets played at events, which makes the whole industry look petty. Until we address these power imbalances, Ghana's music industry will remain stuck in petty rivalries rather than progressing as a professional ecosystem we deserve. What happened at Extravaganza wasn't just about me, but rather about every professional who's ever been treated as disposable in our industry. The change starts with calling it out. Okay, so he hashtag music for the gods, hashtag on the boards. Right, now let's take a look at what the PRO of Stonebwoy Beam Nation also had to say, because she also was not too happy about this comment and decided to react to it. All right, so we are trying to get the video for you to actually see what she said, because we don't want to mix anybody's words. We don't want it to come out like we are putting words in the mouths of people. And so we want you to have a first hand of it, and then we can delve into it. But then she wrote something on Facebook. She said, DJ Lord OTB, you have up till 12, that is midday, April 2nd, 2025, to produce the name of the so-called top board official who gave you that instruction. Be ready to prove that that it came from Stonebwoy's camp, else we will sue you till you sell your last pen drive to repair the damage. This nonsense name calling must stop. All right, so let's see what she had to say.
Who amongst team no? And a Becca trend was so horse on Jai Shatta Wale Nyumbo. Performance back, Yede Larusso, Ebaye, Too Tough, Ebaye, Sina So Ebaye, even a half war cry when you're free Jamaica crampono or man opportunity, Emane Ebe Shining was changing. So why are so much into the craft now? Or rehearsing on the Oguskele ball live, omo freestyling, Abba stage in the so no when you're daddy, say, Yeme country with DJ Lord say. And Shatta Wale Nyumana. She said me performances in the choir. And all that we hear today, is not to say, it is this tweet to say, we stopped you from playing with set pieces. The next post, secondly, ask the organizers of Extravaganza. Say, because any order say stop you manual performance. May there DJ Lord, who amongst team no, and a Becca trend was so horse on Jai.
All right, so DJ Lord is being dared to come out and tell us who amongst the team told him that. Well, DJ Lord seems like he also replied, and he said that, he said, I have been faultless all my years in this industry, and I have no reason to fabricate stories. The Guinness representative explicitly relayed to us verbatim from her phone that Stonebwoy's team wasn't comfortable with the shutter back to back. I'm simply sharing what occurred. All right. Robert, you know, we've heard of beefs between musicians, artists, but beef between DJs and musicians, a bit off. Now, if this is really true, we want to know, where does the boundary end for event organizers trying to intervene in artists playing music, or you having the artists determining the kind of music to be played at events?
Okay, so this whole thing can be treated from multiple angles. Let me just quickly mention. First of all, an event organizer has the liberty to inform you about what to play and what not to play.
Okay.
They can give you music policy, agree on the music policy even before time, and then you go ahead and work with it. That's one. So there's nothing wrong if at the end of the day an event organizer informs you about what to play and what not to play. It's their show. They have their reasons for it whatsoever. The second part is that in terms of planning a program, the flow of the program, so you call it running order, you sometimes measure the energy. So you can plan that I want these songs from the beginning, I want this in the middle, I want this at the end.
Okay.
Now, you can also say that I have these artists going to be on the bill. So because I want these artists are going to be on the bill, I don't want you to play their songs because it's the same set of songs that these guys are going to perform. So we don't want you to, if you want to play it maybe 5 hours, 4 hours, 3 hours before they come up, that's okay. But don't play these songs closer to the time they're supposed to be there, then it's almost anticlimactic. Like, why are you playing that which the guys are going to perform anyways? So then figure out other sort of songs and stuff like that. So all of these things are conversations that usually an organizer ought to be able to have with an artist or have with the team responsible for playing music, so that's the DJs, etc., etc. Now, it's also possible, again, that if for any reason you notice that there's a conflict between two parties, so let's say you notice there's a conflict between, like, Camp A and Camp B, and Camp B is about to come on stage, you playing Camp A song could create some negative energy. If you want to avoid that, then what you want to do is that you want to inform the, the DJ to stick to songs that may not necessarily have the ability to generate any of these chaos, because you don't want it. It's not like it will happen, but you always want to play safe. So I can imagine that if that is the case, then obviously it's going to inform. I'm not saying that that's the case, but I'm just trying to look at multiple scenarios about what and why should inform somebody about why, what songs should be played, what songs should not be played. Now, if these conversations are held literally, I think that sometimes to the DJ will have to exercise some form of discretion in terms of what you're also going to say and what you're not going to say, or how you say it, because there are implications to whatever it means in terms of PR. So right now the program is over. An event organizer is looking to have people talk about the success of the event, how much money went into it, the highlights, the good things they had, Guinness Smooth being, those are the things that they were launched at the venue. So people are looking for these highlights, but we are rather focusing on something else. So if I were to be an event organizer, I will not be too excited, because I'll be looking for the highlights to be the subject of conversation, so to say, within the space. You were saying, you mentioned earlier again that usually it's artists versus artists, but not DJs. But I think that it boils down to still artists versus artists.
Okay.
We know that Stonebwoy and Shatta, a little bit of rift in there, here and there, and this banter goes on. Or the camps, we know that the back and forth is always there. So while for as long as the communication has gone to him and it's about a certain artist and he's also a different artist, you can understand that these things are coming up. Now, the reason why I would understand the position of the PR is that they want to clearly give him the chance to give the facts. If you said somebody said this, then really, exactly, because they don't want a situation for it to be misconstrued by the other party, that they literally went to say X, Y, Z, if, that kind of stuff. So they want to be clear on that. And then once they are clear on that, if there's any action to take, they can take that particular action. On the side of DJ Lord, I think the challenge is the first submission has a little bit of difference with the second submission. The first submission said somebody from the management, and then the second submission is saying that it was a phone call from the organizers camp. So we realized that the organizers camp is different from somebody coming from the management of Stonebwoy. I think that's a
the organizers are still he didn't. So
I think I'm making reference to him because it was a conversation that they pointed out earlier.
I think the point is that DJ Lord was not even the direct recipient of the message.
Okay.
His manager.
Okay.
Was the one who had an engagement with the representative from the sponsors. And according to the manager, the woman told him, I asked him on radio, what did you say? Because you were saying verbatim. Now he told us that the woman read from the phone, and I asked, did you see the message? He said, no, I was in a hurry.
So which woman read from the phone?
A rep from Guinness. And at a point, I mean, he mentioned the name of the woman during a conversation he had with Stonebwoy's manager, one Wilma.
Okay.
So I asked him, did you see the message? He said, no. She read to me.
Okay, I know Wilma.
Then the manager quickly went to his artist who was performing to relay the message to him.
Okay.
So it was like a secondary source where DJ Lord heard from. When they had not even seen to confirm who from Stonebwoy's camp sent the message.
Okay.
Then they quickly ran
on social media
with it. When even after the show, you didn't even bother to confirm from them, then you quickly run to town. Then when you are pushed, you cannot confirm the message because you didn't see.
It was his management that saw it.
Yes, and it's why you cannot even confirm the number or whoever sent the message.
But then, okay, so there was a message as he's saying,
which was read to him.
Is his manager willing to say that, yes, he did see a message?
I asked him on radio, I remember, on Hit FM, did you see the message?
Maybe he didn't see it.
He said he was
no, okay, so maybe he didn't see it. Maybe his manager saw it. It will only be fair for his manager.
It was his manager who had the conversation. DJ Lord did not have a conversation with anyone aside his manager. So his manager had a conversation with the rep from Guinness. And the manager then relayed the message.
So it's not a text message?
No. It was a text message which, according to the manager, was read to him. So he didn't even see the text message.
Okay.
So it's like, I call Robert.
Okay, so wait. So you are the DJ?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm your manager?
Yes.
The information came to me?
It came to, according to the manager, it came to Rosie. Then Rosie read to you.
So a text message comes to my phone?
Yes.
And then I relay the information to me?
Yes.
Because you are on stage?
Yes.
And then I now come to tell you?
Yes.
So the manager of Lord came to tell him that this is the information?
Yes.
Okay, and the manager got that information from somebody else?
From Guinness, not from Stonebwoy's camp.
Okay.
But did the manager see the text?
I asked, he said he was in a rush.
Okay, so the challenge here is that the initial submission says that information from the camp. You understand, and so that's where the conflict is. So they are saying, who is it? Name the person.
I think they should have even done their due diligence there to inquire. And I mean, this is also the other context. It could be a friendly advice, because if you are a sponsor of an event, you clearly have a control over music policy. Who told you no one can dictate to you how your playlist should go?
What if even this message came from the organizers? One person in there says, listen, because Stonebwoy coming on the show.
Stonebwoy was, even at the show, the interesting thing is that at the show, other DJs, DJ Sleek and all, they played Shatta Wale's song.
Okay, and they didn't...
Nobody had an issue. And this time was that DJ Lord was just next to Stonebwoy. After DJ Lord, Stonebwoy is coming. So at this point, you see, at the other part of his message, he created a drama that things even got turned bad when Stonebwoy's team demanded back. Meanwhile, they gave Stonebwoy 11:30. Stonebwoy was there around the time, but they made her wait for some time. And he didn't come on 11:30, they gave him. And came around after 12 or so. So it wasn't like he forced to come in. The organizers called him. But look at the other part of the message, that things turned bad. I mean, how can you do this when it was within his time to come? And the organizers called him. So that somebody is coming right after you. And you no one needs to tell you about your music, selection. Other people played it. And nobody had. Just last year, Beam Concert, they played Shatta Wale's song. That's a program for Stonebwoy.
I think it would be fair if we can get to know where the text message really came from.
Exactly. And I was even, when on radio, he said he doesn't want to mention the name of the rep from Guinness. Had it not been a leaked phone conversation with Stonebwoy's manager, we wouldn't have known the name. On radio, he was saying until he gets permission from the rep from Guinness, he will not mention the person's name.
Okay.
However,
he doesn't mention the name.
However, he conveniently mentioned Stonebwoy, who he had not confirmed this was coming from him.
Wow.
However, the person who directly engaged his manager, he wanted to get a permission to mention. However, in their post, without permission, without, verification,
he did it.
He placed Stonebwoy's name in there.
Robert,
so the pettiness and the politics and partisan, things he's talking about, which is crippling the industry, he was basically doing the same.
Is he from Shatta Wale's camp?
Oh, I think he's Kim Promise TJ.
He's Kim Promise.
And because that thing is very important. You work with somebody, so you work with a brand. And when there is that secondary brand association, there is a transfer of equity. So you should be careful the things you do, else you make people make reference or drag in the brand you associate with. So, this is why he should have been very, very circumspect with how he went to town without verification and anything. Because it was like he was creating a scene. Which for me, it
Robert,
was like
could it be that there's something that has been lingering on that hasn't come out into the limelight, and a little trigger brought this out?
I can't say. All things are possible, but I can't really say. Because, you would want to... There was another voice conversation between, I think, the management, I think it was Chief Styles and DJ Lord, where it was like, could you not call me? Could you could have called me to, ask and that kind of stuff. So you'd clearly see, based on that particular conversation, they are not strangers to themselves. Like, they know themselves, and then they have that cordial relationship. So I'm not too sure what the reason could be for washing that particular aspect of information in the public space, but I always believe, in a direct engagement with the people, especially when we are stakeholders, because anything that you put out there, once it has weight, it will just fly, get wings and fly. So I always believe that, first of all, yes, I'm not against things going out, but I always like, for the purposes of managing relationship and expectations and all of that, I believe in dealing directly with the persons, and if there is a need for it to go out, fine, but if it's not, then you keep it, because it's not everything that I personally want to put out there. So
what if it's not the first time it's happening to him? Maybe he's had conversations behind the scenes, but it keeps happening, and so he felt, okay, let me just go out there and talk about it on social media.
That's the thing. If you are going to want to take that particular step, then you're stepping into the space of journalism, and it's going to be about truth, accuracy, and facts or objectivity. The moment you put it out there, you are calling the whole world to scrutinize what you have written. The court of public opinion will step in, and that is even different. It's no longer one person. Everybody's going to have a bite. Once you put it out there, you are saying that you are not going to leave it between the two of you. You are leaving it for everybody to become the judge. And once they become the judge, they are going to use their own marking scheme, their own metric, everything they can to be able to decipher and pass judgments. So that's exactly what we're experiencing right now.
Wow. Is there any way we can salvage the situation? Because these two are my favorites. You know, and I don't want to see this happening. I really love DJ Lord OTB to bits. I love Stonebwoy to bits. And when I read it, immediately I saw it, I said, Sheila, we need to talk about it. We need to see how best we as a media house can salvage this situation. We don't want it to keep burning. We don't want Stonebwoy's team suing DJ Lord. I mean, it's one big family, you know.
And you know, the sad aspect is that if it's not, careful, his relationship with the sponsors can even be affected.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're dragging their brand into something they believe could have been solved behind closed doors because it's a brand. Don't forget, whatever you are doing, you are playing one side against one side, and it can affect patronage of their business. That when the other brand think that you don't like them, and they will not be happy. So it can even possibly degenerate in today saying, okay, if you are having a program, we don't want this guy. So, I mean, because...
Nobody wants you.
Yeah, because we are brands are fragile. See, small thing can take you into crisis. So we need to be very circumspect how we put information out there. We should be very careful. Information management is very important so that we do not open ourselves for crisis. Because, I mean, you wouldn't like people to drag your brand anyhow with the slightest thing. And you know how people process information. Some process information through the central route, some through the peripheral. They just see the thing, they don't scrutinize. They run to town with it. Some will scrutinize. So because of that, if you are putting something else, you have to be very careful. Else you will destroy somebody's brand. And he should do the humble man thing. Just call Charlie, bro, I'm sorry, Charlie. I mean, you know, this for no happen. I'm sorry. Mortification, just say sorry and apologize. And it makes you a gentleman. I mean, and we move on.
Robert, do you think there's any way we can solve it?
Oh, obviously. I mean, bigger issues have been solved. This should not be on a boys level. This is even like way easier to be able to Charlie. I know, check. You know, like basically you admit where the fault is coming from and then, you know, move on. You know, at the end of the day, for all you know, so is it also possible that an instruction came from the camp? If it came from the camp and he feels very strongly about it, then they're asking him to prove. So then he should go ahead and prove to the parties involved.
But won't proving it rather make him become like, you know, the enemy? Because there's a case whereby probably the organizers of the program, they don't want to have this lingering on, and you losing an opportunity one day.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is this: you can solve it without necessarily... You can solve it between the two parties, and then you decide what information you share with the general public because of the stakeholders involved.
Right.
So if it's you and I, Charlie, we have checked, this is a person, you've proven, okay, there's a person who said it, what does it mean? They deal with the person, so maybe the person was not authorized to go and say it. And then this particular information is out there, or whatever, I don't know. It could be anything. I don't want to say that he is wrong.
Because we don't know exactly what really happened.
So I just have to be objective, you know. So if he can, then he proves it. If he cannot, then you apologize and say, look, I'm sorry, XYZ, and then you give an official communique. I've had conversations with the camp of Stonebwoy, and I am at fault, or we have something whatsoever, something. But you know, I'm sure they'll find a way to be able to.
You know,
and I want to quickly highlight the fact that it is always important that when you move from being a personality to becoming a brand, and you work with multiple brands, PR is essential. PR is not just you managing crisis. PR is part of your thinking patterns in terms of every action that interacts with the public. Knowing very well that there are volatile areas, there are areas of love, there are areas of happiness. Once you know it, then it informs how you act or put out stuff.
Okay.
You know, so that's it. There's a preemptive, and then there's the, you know, you managing a crisis component. So I think that everybody needs to be able to work to work consciously with this particular mindset. Really, anybody from, you're a regular presenter, nobody knows you, become a presenter, everybody knows you. Immediately PR has to be part of your, you know, your thinking. And I'm not saying that you should wait for the wahala to happen. That's the biggest lesson for me. Because
the reason why running to town was dangerous is that it could be an internal message, not from Stonebwoy's camp. However, they want to, create a certain effect. And they have used their name wrongly to, Charlie, these people will be like, meanwhile, it's not from...
You know, sometimes you can do that.
Some of these things happen.
Yeah.
And then it could also be the Chinese whisper thing.
Yeah.
Or it's a Charlie, the way they play this song, you're not sure say you go feel worried.
Yeah.
Tell the DJ if you go feel go mad on this song.
Yeah.
So some of these things...
Then somebody, Charlie, they say make you not do this again.
And even as a manager, advice to him, it's not every message you receive that you send in the same, composition to your artist or your brand, especially when the person is working. There are times I receive a message from my artist, I'll wait for days, weeks, at times months. When that message will not have any effect, then I relate to it. No one can tell me that.
Yeah.
You know, you need to...
You know your artist. You know your artist.
You need to manage situations. So in the heat of the moment, you receive them straight back.
But we know your artist. If you tell her, then we know. But Robert, you are moving to Takoradi as well.
Yeah, I'm moving to Takoradi, yeah. So right after I'm going, it's going to be an amazing time. We are... having dance.
Go buy oil, crude oil, the oil day.
No. We're actually, what we're doing there is music tourism.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
Yeah, so literally hotels have been booked. We are engineering a lot of economic activity, food going there, logistics being rented, people being employed, all of that. So basically the TGMA Experience Concert is happening in that particular space. And we're happy to be able to work with creatives in that particular, giving the platform to the upcoming artists to perform. And then we also have industry stakeholder engagements that we are going to be having. I think all the places we've been to since Takoradi all the way to Hull, Cape Coast, we did that just to be able to, allow a lot of questioning to take place and for us to give them feedback with respect to the scheme. So yes, we are doing all of that. And yeah, we are looking forward to an amazing experience, and we are thankful to the Most High God for life and praying for clear skies.
I like that one.
Yes. Quickly, I think the TGMA, I think they've done well responding to every stakeholder who sends a message. But with regards to the rules, some of them, I'll be very happy if they get to the artists earlier, before nomination is released, so that all of these things.
I think Robert mentioned it, that they're going to make sure that this time they're...
Yeah, next time, because maybe the artist doesn't know that it may be relaxed like it has been done in the past. So you really bust that bubble area.
Okay,
so that,
all right.
But I would like to say happy birthday to Chic Collection, CEO of Chic Collection.
Okay.
May God continue to bless you and all your endeavors.
All right.
All your
Thank you so much,
and big up
for being
DJ
here.
OTB.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Robert Clark, for being here. And thank you, Adam Entertainment. And to all of you, we love you so much. We are hoping that this particular issue can be resolved between DJ OTB and Stonebwoy. We know it's all love. We love you all. Have a wonderful time. Today is Friday. We have changes coming your way at exactly 1 p.m. My name is Roslyn Felly. I did this with Esiedua Akomia. Bye.